Good afternoon.
Good
Very
afternoon,
good
Dr.
evening.
Khyati. Hello, Geeta ma'am. How are you?
Yeah, good afternoon, Payal Ben. Good afternoon,
Good
Geeta
afternoon,
ma'am.
Kathy. Good afternoon, Payal.
Hello, very good afternoon, Dr. Khyati, Geeta ji. This
Good
is Rajiv
afternoon,
Saxena.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello, and good afternoon to everyone. I guess there is some technical
Yeah,
glitch
I
with
think he was having
Chirag, who's
some
trying to put in
problem
the
coming, saying hello.
yes, voice is echoing. However, it is already 4 o'clock, and then we decided this program to start with 4 o'clock. And meanwhile, Chirag connects over here. Let me introduce myself. I work here as the vice president and head of the vertical 3 for few of the businesses for Cadila Pharmaceuticals, which includes gynecology, gastroenterology, oncology, and neuropsychiatry. So, and then topic which Dr. Khyati Badalia accepted and chosen for today is mental health, and I deal in gynecology as well and understand lot of doctors' complaints of multiple levels problem and issues, and then discussing it. This is something about me, and then my team is really privileged and happy to have all of you at this point in time. The situation we are all going in, the entire world is suffering from, and then current situation of India and pandemic is really getting worse, and then putting up all of us into huge mental stress, physical stress, and the women of the world is the backbone of what we do and
I
what we
think
say.
the voice is being echoed, or is it only with me?
I am not sure. It is echoing the voice everywhere.
No, no, sir. Voice is clear, sir.
Okay.
I am getting the echoes.
Okay, ma'am.
Can you hear me,
Yeah,
Kathy? Can you hear me clearly?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So we are into the digital world, and digital era is also with a lot of technical advantages and associated hazards. So one of them is that possibly we are not able to connect properly sometimes, and sometimes maybe voice over is a problem. So with this, maybe if things allow me, and then with your kind permission, Dr. Khyati and Ita Jyoti, if your kind permission, if you can begin the program from today, and I'm sure we lot of people are connecting and then waiting for your deliberations. So I welcome on behalf of entire Kerala Pharmaceuticals, Dr. Khyati Mithalia, practicing psychiatrist in Ahmedabad city, a very active doctor in spreading awareness in the mental health issues, especially with to women. So I welcome you, Dr. Khyati, for the program, and thank you very much for accepting our invite to be in part of this program. I also welcome
Thanks a lot.
Ms. Geeta Jory, Madam, ex-DGP and currently proud Cadelian. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion and being part of this very important program. And I'm sure your presence
It's my
will add a
privilege.
lot of value. And thank you, ma'am, very much. I also welcome Dr. Payal Gehlot, Head of Ladies Circle NGO Gujarat Chapter. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for coming in and joining us today. I also welcome Dr. Swati Johar, Head of Ladies Circle NGO Rajasthan Chapter. Uh, Thank you very much coming in and joining. Double happiness because I born brought up in Rajasthan. I belongs to Jaipur. Probably would be happy to have you in at this program. Welcome Dr. Nandini Sultania, Head of Kamakhya India, Women's Activist from Gujarat Chapter. Really happy to have you both on this program. Also welcome all other women associated with Cadila Pharmaceutical joining over here on this very initiative and be a part of this program and then help us to really help awareness better and faster. We at Cadila Pharmaceutical always striving towards disseminating such kind of information through the eminent doctors like Dr. Khyati Mithalia have joined us today. And we are really delighted in the neuropsychiatry, and especially in this zone when we really reach out to the community and look at the community largely they benefit and understand then how we can really do good in these testing time also and come out of happily. So with this, I really respect and dedication of Dr. Khyati Metalia to accepting our offer over here and then coming and disseminating this information along with all the eminent feminists gathered over here. With these small words, I would like to hand over the session towards Dr. Khyati and Geeta ji to take it proceeding further and let us understand from you. To you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajiv sir, for a
Thank you, sir.
wonderful welcome address. Before handing over the session to Johri ma'am and Dr. Khyati, today I really feel to be a proud Cadillian because apart from providing affordable medicines, Sir Raju Saxena sir, it is because of your mentoring and your leadership that we are organizing a patient-centric program. So this gives us a double joy, affordable medicines plus patient-centric campaign that you are making us to do as the leader, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Johri ma'am to begin the session by sharing her experience that why women's mental health requires special attention. Johri ma'am.
Chirag, sorry ma'am. Chirag, does it really require this slide to be shown? Otherwise, if you can
yes, sir. I'm just removing the slide.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
before Madam start this wonderful session, I would just want to say that this session is live right now in Facebook, Insta, and on our Cadila site. So lot many people are together from other apart from this Zoom which we are there actually. So lot many people are connected with other sites also, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you very much for the info.
Thank you, Chirag. Thank you, Rajiv, Gaurav, and Dr. Khyati present here, the NGOs from Rajasthan and Gujarat, and all the Cadillians who will be joining us or who have already joined us. So I find it a great privilege to be part of Cadila. I've been here for some time now. And I think this is my first session where Chirag has asked me to, and Rajiv has asked me to come and join you in giving some experience of mine. I was a police officer. I joined in the year 1982 as an IPS officer. That was a long time back, about 35 years back, when women were not very much into policing. I think when I came, I stepped into Gujarat. I stepped into a small place called Junagadh in the year 1983 after my training in the police academy at Hyderabad. I was quite worried because I was the only woman officer there. And then I found when I stepped out of the train, there were the police officers themselves, they were more worried than me. Okay, what to do with a woman? So we have never seen a woman police officer, and that was at a high post. So whether we salute her or we don't salute her, what are we going to do about it? So that's when I thought, let me take things into my hand. And then I told them, yeah, you have to see the rank on my shoulders. That is more important because I'm wearing a uniform and it's important. And you need to behave that way. So then I set some things straight, maybe for myself and maybe for all the police women who were to come into the force later on. So I was the first woman IPS officer at that time. And there were very few women in the level of constable or PSIs, I mean, hardly any. Through the years, there have been many women entering the police force. We have lots of them now, plenty in fact, but of course, not that many. In the whole of India, we are about 6% to 7. But still, what it was in the year 82, I think we have definitely improved in that line. Yes, let me talk about my experience in the police as a career, because that is one stressful job. It's a 24/7 job, which when I first joined, people said this is not a job for a woman because it is a purely male-dominated force. There was not many women. Secondly, they said it's a 24/7 job. So how can a woman handle both the house and as well as the job together? Yeah, it definitely was difficult. But then that's where I felt we need to show the world that women can handle many things. So that was what, when I took the first step, I said, yes, I can handle this thing. I can handle both my house as well as the job. I got married in the year 1985. I have 2 daughters. So that is where, when things started really becoming, juggling between the job and the home, it was quite stressful. And I think all women do it nowadays, juggling between the job and as well as the home. And these are, of course, issues which we have to handle. And we must know how to cope and handle these kind of situations. If you're unable to cope, we either leave the job or we are not able to create a balance in the family and the house. So what is more important, I learned through these years, is to create a kind of a balance between the house and the job, a kind of time management between the two, and to be more organized. And that is how I think I have managed to grow up both my daughters. One has become an engineer and one has become a doctor. So I think I'm quite satisfied in that way. But this is all through managing my physical health and mental health. So this is what one of the reasons why today's session really I wanted to join was because it's very important that women keep a balance and keep their mental health as well as their physical health in place. If even one of the two, that is the mental health or the physical health, is not in place, then you will definitely going to have a lot of problems. I could just give 1 or 2 examples. When I was an assistant superintendent of police, that was my first posting. So the Home Secretary's first question to me was, Geeta, how can you manage this? Because there are no toilets for women in the police station. This was such an important thing at that point of time. So he said, these are all rural areas where you will be going for visitations and you will be there for 5 days in a particular place. So how are you going to manage? And that was a very important point, because I found all over India, in all the police stations in India, there were no toilets for women because women were not in plenty in the police force. So this was one major issue, which of course through the years later on, we took it up, and we have now designed all police stations to cater for women restrooms and washrooms. But it was at that point in the year 1983, 82, 83, a very important issue to whether to post me to a particular place or not. So I took up a challenge. I told them that's not an issue. I can manage it. So please post me, because that was one of those very important and police station area where a lot of police stations were there, which were heavy. And I wanted to be in a place where I could learn a lot. That was Jodhpur. So that is where I came across a number of suicides, women committing suicide. In the year 83, 84, 85, there were many women who committed, still going on, but I think with awareness, things have decreased a lot. But there were women who got recently married, who used to go from their home to the in-laws' place, could not cope up either with the housework or any small flimsy reason. They were unable to cope, and I think they did not have maybe good family support or friends, or they could not talk about it, maybe because of the stigma to their own family or to anybody else. And so they had mental issues where they did not know how to take professional help, and they landed in committing suicides. So these are the problems which are faced by young girls, even to a great extent, even today in the rural areas. It has definitely improved in the city and other places. Yeah, to go on to my personal experience, there have been many occasions where I have had real stress. So I always find that, I could quote one example. When I was doing this Rath Yatra Bandobast, we have a Rath Yatra in Ahmedabad taken out every year. Of late, of course, the Rath Yatra is now very peaceful. But when I was posted there as the Deputy Commissioner of Police in Zone 4 in Ahmedabad, we used to have periodical, every year there was a Rath Yatra where the crowd was really huge and we used to have communal rites. So during the Rath Yatra, this used to be one stressful moment where I had to manage my family as well as the job. Yeah, I had all the public pressure, the police pressure, the politicians pressurizing me, everybody on one side, but on the other side, I had to take care of my 2 daughters and the family. So I used to think if there is a communal rites, then what would happen to the family for say 3 days, 4 days, 5 days till I come back home. So this is where we have to plan. This is what a male would not have at the same time, but we women have this kind of a stress. How to plan the Rath Yatra on one side, that's the job, and how to plan the family, the food for the family and everything if you're not able to return back home. So this causes definitely tension and stress to us more than maybe to the opposite gender. I had, of course, done a very important operation of which I'm quite proud also. It was in Daryapur, where we had a liquor don in Ahmedabad who was called Latif. He had a few sharpshooters with him and they had killed about 9 people in another area, quite innocent. So the sharpshooter and his brother and the whole gang had gone in the adjacent area and killed about 9 people. So this job was given to me by virtue of me being the deputy commissioner of that particular area. I had to catch all the criminals as well as demolish the liquor don Latif. So yeah, the operation was successful. I won't go into it. The operation was successful. I had caught Sharif Khan, one of the sharpshooter. He was Dawood's man and staying protected by Latif in Ahmedabad. So we had put him in jail along with many others. Now, till then, nothing, no issues. But after a few days, he bribed one of the policemen who was taking him to the court and he ran away. So when he ran away, I didn't know about it for half an hour. And when I got the information that Sharif Khan has run away, that is when I really got stressed out. The reason for my stress was this, that when Sharif Khan ran away, I was worried whether he would come back home to my house and, attack my family and children. So these are small stresses or maybe big stresses that we have in this particular job as women. So because we have to think about the family each and every time. And I'm sure all women will be going through such stresses in their life, going through anxiety and moments. But I think we all have a coping mechanism, or I think about this coping mechanism is what Dr. Khyati will be giving us in detail. I think we all have some kind of a coping mechanism, and we have that coping mechanism and we manage to keep our stress level at a threshold, do not allow it to cross certain limits, and do not get into mental health problems. We would be successful in our career or in our family life too. I always feel that we women face many demands. Some demands are outside, which could be gender bias, which is the glass ceiling, which are so many other problems related to the job. But there are many demands which we have within us, and that is what we have to fight. The demands like, when can we do it? Can we reach that level? Are we capable of doing it? Or what will happen to the family if we are going to do a particular job? So these are the demands that we have within ourselves that causes our mental health problems more than maybe the demands that are outside. So I would like to, today's forum is basically to discuss with Khyati that if we have mental health problems, how to cope with them, how to go about our life in a very balanced fashion, and what are the mental health problems that we could possibly have. So, Khyati, could I ask you a question? Dr. Khyati?
Yeah. I could
I would like
finally
to ask you this question. what are the factors or causes that can lead to mental health issues in women? Could you elucidate what experience I have had? I have been told that I have coped it, but I'm not very sure whether I've coped it in the right way, or I would like you in a
have coped up in a best possible way, I feel, ma'am. But as such, talking about the causes,
yeah.
see, on one hand, being a woman is a very wonderful thing. But on the other hand, this being a woman comes in itself with a baggage of so many vulnerabilities to mental health issues. Like, there are many causes to it: biological, social, psychological. Now, biological holds true for all the women, whether they are homemakers or say they are working women. That is, starting from menarche to menopause, the hormonal changes which happen cyclically. Like, as you said, the women are juggling not only between the work and home, but even between the hormones, like which every month go up and down. They have their surge. Because of that, I would say 90% of women have premenstrual syndrome. That is some or the other thing: irritability, mood swings, crying spells. They just don't like anything or feel like doing anything. Just 3 to 4 days before the periods. I think commonly most of the women have experienced. And you can say that 3 to 8% of women are having severe premenstrual dysphoric disorder, where I have seen, like, even the family has gone for divorce itself, because the phase was so bad, the woman was so much angry, and she spoke things which normally she is not supposed to speak. And the family, since they're not understanding that this is a disorder which is related to the hormonal changes, they also retaliate, and they don't support the patient. So premenstrual thing is there. Even postmenopausal or say perimenopausal mood changes are also very common. But I think now a lot of awareness has been spread about that. Postpartum depression is another thing, where we can say that 50% of women, postpartum women, will be having postpartum blues, where they don't feel like doing anything. They don't feel like taking care of the baby. They become just passive, dull, disinterested in everything. But almost 10 to 20% of women would end up into postpartum depression, where they would absolutely not take care of the baby, or they might even go for suicide.
I have seen that.
Depression is depression is a major cause of suicide, I would say. So these were the biological things. Talking of the social things, I guess almost everybody of us knows, like, just like Geeta ma'am recently said, that when you joined in Junagadh, you said that the other police people were wondering whether to salute or not to salute. Not to salute, why?
Woman,
Only because you
yes.
are a woman. Yes. So this is the mentality of our society. It is a totally man dominant, where they say that like, we may not respect a woman, we should not respect a woman. And like, they consider the women lower as compared to them. That is there in, you can say, all the cultures, not only in India but everywhere. So this stereotype mentality is there still. And all the women, when they go out and they want to come up in the world, they have to fight against this mentality. Even everywhere in the job, I've seen, or maybe the studies also have shown, that women are paid lower as compared to men at many places. And asking for a salary hike, men are very comfortable, women are not comfortable, because they themselves downgrade themselves in their mind, that मैं तो औरत हूँ, मैं कैसे ये मांग सकती हूँ, कर सकती हूँ, etc. This is the society. Also, sexual abuse also is very common, because of which is also a very stressful thing for the women, especially those who are in want of money, and they are doing the job because to make the two ends of the family meet. For them, they can't even leave the job because they need the money. They can't even take legal actions because they have got a whole responsibility to fulfill of the house. And if they go for everything, then what about the house and the house management and everything? So that is there in the, you can say, society outside the home. And even inside the home, managing the kids, family, and the outside work, that is always a challenge, because uh, you can never do 100% justice to both of the things. Either you have to compromise somewhere on the house, or you compromise somewhere on your work. And each of that is not acceptable to us. There are so many women who do very good at their workplace, are in some ways having a guilt feeling. They are feeling like, I'm inadequate, I'm not able to do things, I'm not a good mother, or maybe I'm not a good wife, I'm not a good daughter-in-law. Such things are also very common among women. Another thing, like taking responsibility of the elder people in the house, as not only the kids, the women who are living in the joint family. If an elder has some medical problem, it is the woman who has to stay at the home. She is only expected. Who else? Because the man cannot skip the job, a woman can if required. So all these things definitely will add to the stresses of the woman in all the ways. Uh, Another thing, psychological reasons. I will say that women are having ruminative cognitive style. That is, their thinking pattern is such that when they think something, एंड जो बोलते हैं ना कि औरत के दिमाग पे घुस गया, तो लाइक वो घुस गया, फिर वो साइकिल चलती रहती है. दैट इज इफ वन थिंग हैपेंस एंड शी इज थिंकिंग अबाउट दैट, then very likely that thought will go in her mind again and again and again. Very common example I usually give, that say a husband and a wife, if they both have fought and then both go to their office, the husband will forget the fight and will get involved in the other things. And when he comes home, he is like normal, nothing has happened, or oh, wo sab to theek tha. But the woman, the whole day, even during her work, that thing will be there at the back of the mind. उसने मुझे ऐसा बोला, ऐसा कैसे किया, ऐसे कर कैसे सकता है, etc. So on and on. So in the evening when she comes home, she is in a mood to fight or argue or whatever, and the husband says, what happened? And then the woman, the way the rage increases in her mind, कि इसको तो कुछ याद भी नहीं है, see, he doesn't care for me. So this is a difference in the thinking pattern of women. Women are more emotional, that we all know. So this biological, psychological, social factors, all of three combine and make the woman more vulnerable to all the mental health issues. So I would say that depression occurs twice in women as compared to men. Also, suicide attempts are 2 to 3 times more in women as compared to men.
Dr. Kathy, could you tell us what are the indicators of early indicators of mental health? I mean, how do I recognize that I'm having some mental health issues? And then what is the right stage when I approach a take professional help, approach a psychiatrist? And how do I go about it? Like, that's very...
Yeah. So indicators of mental health problems, it can start, the symptoms can be, you can see in the behavior, in the emotions, in the performance of the work, etc. For example, in the behavior, a person, or here particularly a woman who was very jolly, lively, cheerful, suddenly she starts appearing dull or irritated, preoccupied with something else. The way she used to enthusiastically do something, and now ठीक है यार, करना है कर लेते हैं. That enthusiasm, that interest, that passion, that is lost from her work. Not only like work can be housework or the professional work, whatever. Taking less interest in everything. कि मूवी देखने जाना है तो पहले तो हाँ हाँ चलो चलते हैं, अब क्या देखने की, छोड़ो. तो like having less interest in the pleasurable activities. Then there could be changes in the sleep. Either there is oversleeping or sleeping very less. या तो नींद नहीं आ रही या तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा आ रही है, दिन में भी काम के टाइम पे भी नींद आ रही है. सेम थिंग विद द एपेटाइट, भूख नहीं लगती, खाने का मन नहीं करता, या in stress some people also start overeating. And same way weight loss can be there, weight gain can be there. There could be also signs of tension, nervousness, anxiety. That is, there could be some chest pain, heartbeats going up, tremors of the body, of the hands, sweating, and sometimes feeling of giddiness, dizziness, crying spells, death wishes, and suicidal thoughts. All these things indicate that this person has got a mental health problem. Now, when to refer them to a mental health professional? In our psychiatry, what we call a disorder, a mental health disorder, when whatever the symptoms are there, they start interfering with the personal, social, or occupational life of the person. If the symptoms are there, somewhat in a mild form, but not much disturbing the life, then still it's okay. We can try with all the other remedies like having a healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, good sleep, doing exercise, all those things. Very mild symptoms are there, they can be taken care of. The basic lifestyle changes, moving with the friends, talking with them, having some day off, vacations, and going to some hobbies, etc. But when the symptoms start disturbing the person very much, like as such, when patients come to us, they say कि अभी काम में मन नहीं लगता, ऑफिस में भी मेरी इतनी सारी गलतियां होने लगी है कि अभी मेरे बॉस मुझे डांटने लगे हैं, और ये भी कह रहे थे कि ऐसे ऐसे ही चलता रहा तो फिर हम आपको जॉब पे नहीं रख पाएंगे. दिस इज एन impairment in the occupation due to the mental health issues. Or say the woman in the home, housewife or homemaker, she also has got such depression, anxiety, or other mental health problems that she is not able to function in her day-to-day routine as before, providing the food to her children, to her husband at time, on time, talking to them in a nice way, or managing the house. She is not able to do that. So these are the signs, especially, that when a person is not able to function properly just here like she was doing before, then you have to refer. Also, when it is causing problems in the interpersonal relations, for example, there could be having a woman could be having delusion of infidelity, in which उसको ऐसा लगता है कि मेरे हस्बैंड का किसी के साथ अफेयर है, जबकि that is not the case in reality, but this is a psychiatric problem. और उसमें then she always starts fights with the husband, goes behind him, checks his phone, and the atmosphere of the house gets spoiled totally. At such cases also, interpersonal relations are affected and the person should be referred. Or there are some problems, you can say obsessive compulsive disorder and some other anxiety syndromes, where it causes so much distress to the woman herself that she is not comfortable, so naturally the impairment is going to follow. In such cases also, referral has to be made.
Tell me this, that now with all this COVID pandemic going on, and women are working from home also, and then women are having the children and husband, everybody at home, and nobody can go out. The flats or whatever, wherever they're staying, the house is also very small. So, there are a lot of domestic violence cases have also increased in this period, and last year especially, from what statistics I have learned. So how do women cope up under such situations? If you could throw a light.
Most of the women, poor women, I would say, they are not coping up. They are just tolerating that, bearing with that, because they don't have any option. The other women who are having options, like for example, who are educated or working, who are not financially dependent on their husband only, uh, they may revolt, they may say like we are going to our parents' house, and such things have happened only when the lockdown was released, because till the lockdown was there they had to bear. Some were there who used to revert back. That also has happened कि दो चार हस्बैंड ने लगाई तो अब बहुत हो गया, अब सामने भी करो, एंड दिस फाइटिंग in the house, other, like I have witnessed as well in some houses, or say in some of my patients. But how to cope with that, if some you
Yeah.
ask me that, then a woman should be very very clear of her right, that nobody has that right to beat me or to say things to me which I don't like, which are not acceptable to me. She should be first very assertive to her husband or whoever other. Most of the times, the perpetrator is the husband in domestic violence. Then comes the in laws, but mostly the husband. So she should very firmly and gently tell her husband that she is not going to allow this, whatever he may do or whatever the relations are there. And if this continues, she will be leaving. Or like in the movie Thappad, it had happened. She said मुझे सब कुछ चलेगा पर ये थप्पड़ मारा ये नहीं चलेगा. That assertiveness, that courage should be there in the woman. Only then she can withhold her husband from beating her, I would say. That courage has to come from within. That no, I won't tolerate that, has to come from within.
Supposing a woman has a mental health problem, how do you think the family can help? You know, there's always a support bubble, like you need family, friends to help. So, what is your message like?
Uh, First of all, I would like to sensitize the people to mental health issues, because most of the families don't know at all that there is something called psychiatric problems or psychological disorders: depression, anxiety, postpartum depression, obsessive compulsive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and psychotic disorders, which I gave an example that suspiciousness is there. So firstly, they don't accept that there is anything like that. ये सब तो सब नाटक करती है, ऐसा कुछ होता ही नहीं है, काम नहीं करना है इसके लिए ऐसा कर रही है. That is their understanding of the mental health symptoms which the woman is displaying. दे ऑल्सो वुड कि यार तुम्हारा तो, तुमने सिर्फ इतना काम किया, सिर्फ इतना तुमने झेला और तुम्हें इतना डिप्रेशन हो गया, ऐसे कैसे? हमारे टाइम पे तो हमने कितना झेला था, हम तो 30-30 लोगों का काम करते थे, हमें तो वो लोग इतने कपड़े भी नहीं देते थे, इतने पैसे भी नहीं देते थे, हमने कितना सहा, और तुम्हारे पास तो इतने सारे कपड़े हैं, तुम्हें पैसे मिलते हैं, ये मिलता है वो मिलता है, फिर भी तुम्हें डिप्रेशन. ये सब नाटक बंद करो. दिस इज दैट. Now, depression can occur to anybody with irrespective of gender, money, education, anything. So this thing the family has to understand, and they have to also realize that a person who is having mental health issues at that time is in need of support. The same family who would support their daughter-in-law if she is having fever or a fracture, that नहीं अभी बेचारी को आराम की ज़रूरत है, and they would actually help. I would say though many of the families are not doing that also, but here we are taking those families who are good but are not aware of the mental health problems. Those same family, जब बहू को डिप्रेशन होगा और लेट उठ रही है, खाना नहीं बना पा रही, बहुत स्लोली कर रही है, तो दे विल स्टार्ट अब्यूजिंग हर कि कितने नाटक कर रही है, ये कर रही है, वो कर रही है, यहाँ रहना है तो ये सब करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो चली जा, हमें ये सब नहीं चलेगा. This is how, and this will add to the mental health issues of the woman.
Yeah, so it's a
per se.
vicious circle. Like,
It's a vicious circle. Her depression would increase, so her functional capacity would further go down, and there will be further resentment on the side of the family. So if the family understands that this is something which is not in control of the woman herself, and it is a disorder, just like she has got diabetes or hypertension or fever, Similarly, she has got depression or any other mental health issue कि जिसमें वो कोई नाटक नहीं कर रही है, उसने अपने आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सोचकर बहुत सारा टेंशन पाला और वो डिप्रेस हो गई, ऐसा नहीं होता है. अदरवाइज से इसकी बहुत ओवर थिंकिंग की आदत है, इसके लिए इसको डिप्रेशन होता है. हमें क्यों नहीं होता? ये खुद सोचती है इसलिए होता है. बट इट इज़ नॉट लाइक दैट एट ऑल. Nobody would go and invite the depression by thinking a lot if that thinking was under their control. कौन अपने पाँव पे खुद कुहाड़ी मारेगा? This is a simple thing. So this the family needs to understand. And see, हमारे पास जितने आते हैं तो I always call the patients with the family. I or say almost all the psychiatrists give a basic psychoeducation to the family about the disorder and how they have to treat or like how they have to deal with the patient in the house, how to what to say, what not to say, सॉफ्टली बिहेव करना है, कुछ कुछ नेगेटिव बातें बिल्कुल भी नहीं कहनी है कि तुम कुछ कर नहीं सकती, तुम ऐसी हो वैसी हो, नो क्रिटिसिज्म, नथिंग. बट अदरवाइज ऑल्सो public health awareness really needs to be increased. Though there are many who are now aware, but still there are so many who have got absolutely no idea ki what the woman is actually going through. So awareness and sensitization is the key thing for having gathering family support for the patients.
Chirag?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
I think want somebody else to speak?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much for a lively interaction, Jory ma'am, and thanks to and very grateful to Dr. Khyati for bringing in lights on the latest challenges that women faces. Now I request कि ये program पूरा awareness session जिस NGO के लिए हमने रखा है, the Ladies Circle NGO Pan India, और उनके गुजरात चैप्टर के हेड डॉक्टर पायल गहलोत. Dr. Payal Gehlot, requesting a couple of minutes of your awareness light on this latest the healthcare mental health challenges that women faces. Dr. Payal Gehlot, Ladies Circle NGO Gujarat chapter head.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies Circle India is very thankful to Dr. Khyati and Mrs. Geeta Johri ma'am for giving us this opportunity to enlighten us with the beautiful words and the knowledge that you have just shared. So rather than me, enlightening something, I would like to ask one or two questions to Dr. Khyati ma'am, and I think many of us would like to also know that how I think you answered a few things about how a woman should cope up. So I also still want to share my experience because I am also presently going through the COVID isolation thing, and this is my 10th day of isolation, and I would just like to share my experience that it had been very depressing in the initial days of my quarantine and isolation period. But since I am connected with the health paramedical professional and I have been regularly exercising, so I would like to share this, my experience that I have been exercising early in the mornings during my isolation period in my room or in my balcony, which has given me so much positivity and so much of relief in all the depression and the mental turmoils that were going on in my mind. I used to practice a lot of pranayamas, Brahmari pranayam, Anulom Vilom, and I used to do a lot of breathing exercises. I used to listen to initially the spiritual songs, spiritual songs, whichever God that you believe in. You can just put in your background those soft music. And lately I started reliving my hobbies that I had left it many years ago. So the 24 hours in a day were appearing so long for me that each minute was passing so slowly that I had to think what next I have to do, because it was impossible to be in front of the laptop or the mobile all the time, because हमको ऐसा लगता है कि चलो I have got my me time and I'll be able to watch a lot of movies on the OTT medias and everything, but it was not at all the thing. Believe me, hardly I would have seen 1 or 2 movies in these 10 days of my isolation. But the best thing that I did was I relived my hobbies that I had left many years ago. like painting, drawing, mandala art, stitching, all those things, which gave me so much of relaxation, positivity, and all my depression, all my mood swings, everything went away with getting myself involved in these hobbies that I kept on doing in this past 10 days. So this is one thing which I feel that everybody should start, practicing if they are in these isolated days. And even if you are not into COVID positive isolated days, even if you are still, you feel you're stuck up at home, try to be with your family, try to be with your kids, try to have small games with your children. I think that is that this time will never come back, because we were looking forward for these times all these years, and we have got this time right now, and we are cribbing that we are not able to go out. So I feel that we should make the best use of the time that God has directly or indirectly given it to us. So that's all I want to say.
मुझे मेरे 15 डेज जो थे आइसोलेशन के वो कम पड़े थे, बहुत कुछ रह गया जितना करना था उसमें से. But as you said, like daily exercising, reliving your hobbies, these are very great and effective stress busters, which everybody should incorporate in their daily life.
Yes.
But during the lockdown, we could catch up with our family, and that is one big thing which I felt was the best that could have happened to us.
Definitely. Now the whole family are the joint, you can say extended family, is
Yeah,
quite
it's the
close
extended.
as compared to what it was 1 year before.
So, Khyati madam, I would like to also ask that you said that sometimes in depression and sometimes in whenever you are psychologically not stable, your sleep becomes very less. What can we do to increase the hours of the sleep? Because sometimes I also experience that in some phases of life, if there is some kind of stress which is going on in my mind, hardly 5 hours or 5.5 hours is more than enough. I don't have to put an alarm, and automatically in 5 hours I am just awake, whether it is 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning. So how can I help myself to sleep at least for a longer time and have a peaceful sleep?
See, actually 6 to 8 hours of sleep is on average necessary for each individual, but still it varies from person to person. Some people may need 8 to 9 hours, some people may need 5 to 6 hours. So if after 5 hours of sleep you are still fresh, able to carry out all your routines and everything, then that is okay. But if you feel कि मुझे sleep कम पड़ रही है, then you need to do some follow a sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene में what we do is कि at night take a light bath, मतलब warm water से bath लेने का, थोड़ी exercise करने की, reading some things which make you fall asleep, and early morning awakening. पूरा एक शेड्यूल जैसे फॉलो करते हैं, उससे स्लीप के आवर्स वी कैन इंक्रीज. बट अगर डिस्कम्फर्ट नहीं है तो 5 hours इज ऑल्सो ओके, यू नीड नॉट इंक्रीज दैट.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think anybody else who have got questions can ask us, I suppose. Quite a few chats have come.
Ma'am, there are few questions from audience. I think Chirag will ask.
Ma'am,
Because entire session is connected in lot many other sites also, like Insta, like Facebook,
Okay.
and in our Cadila. So Chirag, if any audience questions are there?
yeah, there is one question from Sheetal yeah, from Facebook Live. It's a question to Dr. Khyati. That she wanted to know that are the medicines for women's mental health different from the men's mental health, or they are one and the same, or the dosing and all they are different, or what is the special care or attention that is required when it comes to the medication point of view? Dr. Khyati ma'am?
Yeah, medication point of view, there is not a very significant difference except the time of pregnancy, because there are so many drugs which are contraindicated in pregnancy, and men don't have that problem. Naturally, they can anytime be given any medication, but during this period of pregnancy and lactation, some medications are not allowed. some medications are allowed in some particular doses. That is one basic difference. And otherwise, more or less, the dosing is the same in man and women. In some cases, the women may require less dose, but more or less it's the same. And there are a few molecules which are preferred more in women. They may cause sexual side effects in men. So they are used less in men. Only this differences are there. Otherwise, medication wise, it's almost the same.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you. Dr. Payal Gehlot, ma'am, if Swati Johri ji is on the line, ma'am, is she there?
Yes, I think Swati is there. Swati, are you there? Okay, I can't see her. I think she has got disconnected. Anyone else from Ladies Circle India would like to ask anything to Dr. Khyati?
Yes, ma'am, I want to ask one question. As a female, as a woman, the challenges keeps on increasing. If it is a personal segment or if it is a professional segment, both sides, the challenges keeps on increasing. You have a small kid, he's a growing phase, and you have a profession life where you are also growing. So expectation on both the sides is increasing. As a women, how a mental states, I mean, we can maintain our mental health so that we can balance both the side. We should not undermine any of the side, and we can be a good balancer for both the side. What as a female we should look after self so that we can be mentally fit for long.
As Payal ma'am also said, daily exercise, giving time to your hobbies, giving some time for your own self, so that you remain happy. If you will be happy, you can make others happy. If you yourself are stressed out, tense, anxious, nervous, then definitely that will pass on to your family members as well, and your work performance also will suffer. So being happy, for that paying attention to your own needs is a must, and the stress busters which I mentioned earlier as well, all those need to be taken care of.
I would also like to add to what Kathy said. I think time management between the family and your job, and also being very organized, would help you better to beat both the challenges.
Very true.
I think, ma'am, we will take one last question from Facebook Live. It is from Preeti Behanji. She just wanted to know that is irritability also a mental disorder?
Irritability is a mental symptom, not a disorder. And we cannot even call it as a symptom in all the cases. If I'm sitting here doing something and somebody comes and constantly pokes me, I'll be irritable over that person. That is very normal. So irritability, when it becomes very excessive, without reason, or very much more as compared to in proportion to the reason, then we will call it as a symptom. And that too when it lasts for a longer period. एक दो दिन तीन दिन अगर थोड़ा irritability है तो that is okay.
I think irritability also comes when you have this hormonal disturbances, and also when I think we are very tired, trying to juggle between the job and home. So I think that time also we have this kind of irritability.
Yeah, and that
I
is
think it's a
momentary,
short
passes away.
Yeah, Dr. Khyati, Rajiv here. So what I was thinking during the entire session, though this subject itself is a very large and wide, it cannot be covered in 1 hour, this kind of a session, and then various nitty-gritties involved into it. My request to you that if you can, summarize and say key 5-6 point in this testing time, COVID especially condition, wherein the entire family, societies, and then entire geography, everybody at large into state problem. Everybody is suffering through various issues, and then keeping mentally tough, keeping mental hygiene better, coping with the problem. If you want to suggest few things, few tips, 5 for all of us together, possibly is going to help all of us to really go through this time, come out with a flying colors.
Okay. First of all, I would not repeat, but getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, healthy diet, daily exercise, hobbies. This all are there. Besides that, especially for women, I would like to tell that as Jory madam as well said, organizing things. In that, see, it is not possible that a woman does each and everything at the workplace as well at the house, because there are only 24 hours and only two hands for each and every woman as well as man. So delegating things is important. You organize the course in such a way that you can delegate things to not the, you can say, servants, but even to the family members. In this COVID times, this is very, very necessary. So घर के सभी लोग मिलके करो जो भी करना है, and each and every person is a part of whatever is going on in the house. If that happens, then the mental health of everybody will be fine, because if the woman will be happy, naturally the whole house will be
Absolutely. If I keep adding on this, in today's COVID condition, momently anybody in the family got COVID positive, the first thing you do is that you stop allowing maid to come in. One is that spreading the
Yes.
virus, and second is not getting infected. And then the entire burden on the family that, you do utensils, you do the, all cleaning at house and all, then dusting, everything.
Just an example, I had a doctor friend, she's an anesthetist. She was having a COVID duty in the hospital during the first lockdown. Her husband was an engineer, work from home. Her brother also was coming from out of station, was a student, so study from home. And he also was a student, work from home. She was the only one who used to go out for her COVID duty, and all the three boys were at home, her husband, brother, and Devar. So what they had decided कि एक तीनों में से एक है वो कपड़े का काम संभालेगा, एक है वो बर्तन का संभालेगा, तीसरा है वो खाने का संभालेगा, और वो आके फिर आराम से खाएगा.
Good. So nice.
And they did
That's nice.
that. They did that.
So it covers all those 3 points you have said: delegation, then systemization of work, and then not take too much burden, and then spread entire work between all of us together, so that they happily things get done. So wonderful and wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Khyati. And this reminds me very important quote made by our founder chairman of Cadila Pharmaceuticals, Shri Indervardhan Ambalal Modi ji, which also colloquially known as the medicine man of India. He always saying that the happiness is not to provide medicine. Happiness is to make that medicine available to the last man of the country in India, so that people they will live happily, soundly. So remembering him and his legacy towards on this very program. Thank you very much for coming in. I would like to request my colleague, Mr. Gaurav Dawal, to really say thank you to all the eminent faculties gathered over here and then grace the occasion. Gaurav.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Wow,
I just feel
just a moment. We have Swati Johar from Rajasthan joined with us from Ladies Circle India.
welcome, ma'am.
Swati.
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Khyati and Geeta ji, for such an insightful session. I think it was a very much need of the hour in these difficult times. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, it's a wow.
Yes, so on
I will,
behalf of Ladies Circle India from Area 11, which is Gujarat, and Area 12, which is Rajasthan, Swati and I, both of you, thank Dr. Khyati, thank Geeta ma'am, thank Chirag bhai for letting us in this wonderful, insightful session of mental health for women in these unprecedented times. Thank you so much.
It was my
excellent
pleasure.
program, ma'am. Excellent program. I have not attended such kind of program before. Today, today many doubt has been cleared, for all the women on mental health with the help of this program. I would say what ma'am, Khyati ma'am already said, like woman mental health is not important. It is very important because it also keep family, man mentally fit. Thank you very much. Just repeating your words only, ma'am. I want to say thank you very much, ma'am, behalf of entire Cadila CNS team to be part of this excellent program. Thank you for spending your valuable time from your busy practice. This program will really help all women to overcome the challenges that they are facing in their daily life, and now more in this pandemic situation, because now pandemic situation is like that. Entire people are in depressed mode, and burden is more on the woman's side, because they have to maintain family, they have to maintain काम वाली बाई नहीं आ रही है, ये नहीं आ रहा है, वो नहीं आ रहा है, जॉब भी करना है, फैमिली भी मेंटेन करनी है, so it is very difficult for them. And I thank you very much, Jory ma'am, to accept our invitations on this mental health and share your excellent journey, which giving a confidence to all the women. How in this situation you handle the entire thing.
Gaurav, thank you would not do. You need to salute Jory ma'am. Salute to you, ma'am.
Definitely.
And
And
resilience.
we are proud.
Of you
We are
now.
proud. I am proud to be a Cadilian. such a great honored person is there with us now.
Yes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for
And-
joining us together. This is a small initiative. I'm sure we should be able to continue this going forward, and we'll add on a newer program with the help of eminent doctors and faculty like Dr. Kathy joining us, the entire group associated. It's nice to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Swati.
I will request Deepali or Chirag to take one photograph for
Yeah.
entire all.
Yeah, it was in the afternoon. I got a call from Deepali, who is our colleague, Evanex Division product management team. She wanted just 1 minute of all of us. Yes, Deepali, over to you.
Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, one and all present here. This is Deepali from Cadila Pharmaceuticals from Evanex Division. I would like to conclude this session with my few words. It's like we being a woman, on behalf of all the women who are present here, I would like to say our happiness and positivity is very much important for our mental health. So be happy and be positive. So with this word, I would like to request one and all present here to open up your video so that we can say victory together, and we do the sign of victory so that we can capture this image for our memories. If no one minds it, we can open the videos and we can do the victory sign together. Is it fine for all of you?
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll do it like that. Okay. And we'll capture this image for our memories. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, start. Victory. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Deepali.
so much
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
coordination.
Thank you.
Much more program is going to come in the future. Thank you so much for beautiful insights.
Thank you, Deepali. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Payal Gehlot. Thank you, Swati ji. Thank you all and all for a lovely session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a very nice time with you all.
Yeah,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, Kathy.
Thank you very much.
Always pleasure to talk to you,
Always
ma'am.
pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure.